February is like no other month in your life. I've called this the most important transit in your life because Saturn and Neptune are meeting at 0 degrees Aries, the beginning of everything. As I said, this is the start of building new civilizations in the world and new civilizations in your personal life. You'd create a new, not chapter, a new book for yourself. Saturn and Neptune never again will meet in your life in Aries. They will meet another time together in 36 years from now, but never again in the same area of your life, the area which is Aries of totally new beginnings. The last time they met in Aries was 1917, the year 1702. So no one's ever experienced it. And it will definitely be a new old karma finishing, old karma that started 36 years ago for you and for the world collectively. All the whole world will politically, economically reshape itself starting from this month. And in your personal life, guys, there will be such a shift. I just want you to see how important this month is. It's not only the Neptune Saturn conjunction. This is my calendar for 2026. If you want to own it, it's interactive. You click on everything and you see what it says. It's only $20, 150 pages. I write it every year. There is also solar eclipse in Aquarius. Wow. So we have Saturn Neptune conjunction on the 20th, solar eclipse in Aquarius. Eclipses are fated events that realign us on the path, but always bring like sometimes very surprising fast events, unexpected. And the solar eclipse is of the same series that happened in 2008, 2009. When I click on it, it gives you the text. Uh, and it's what happened then. We had the economic crisis that happened in 2008 with the eclipses in Aquarius with the North Node. So even if it's not an economic crisis, now the next 2 years, because we'll have other eclipses in Aquarius in 2027 as well, there'll be a big change of the whole financial system. Reimagining it, very fast changes, whether we go into crypto or to digital currencies, and the old kind of system collapses, and there might be sudden rise in some stocks from February, huge rise, maybe the more electronic biohacking Aquarian types, and huge fall of other ones. So there'll be instability in the stock markets and so on. It will be crazy, and also eclipse in Aquarius brings very fast changes. And Aquarius countries are the countries ruled, the northern countries, like the Scandinavian, like Russia. Watch out, those countries. Greenland, the very cold countries, Aquarius ruled. Russia is under Aquarius. The big events in February will happen around those countries. Watch them. We see already such trends anyway. And we have another two big events. Venus goes visible. You can see what it reads here in my calendar. Going back, it's wonderful time. The birth of Venus is one of the most beautiful events in astrologically that can happen. It happens once every 2 years, every 18 months. So it's the birth of Venus. It's wonderful, and it will become visible in Aquarius. We'll see how it will affect each of you. Aquarius will benefit the most, but each sign, each ascendant or moon or ascendant sign, sun sign will really benefit. It's a blessing when Venus is born. We'll see. I'll tell you how it's gonna bless you. Mercury becomes visible. Fantastic time for 20 days to do till around until Mercury goes invisible and retrograde. So till around the, let's say, 22nd, fantastic time to start business activities, marketing, media content, uh, anything to do with writing, speaking, meetings. Do that when Mercury is visible. But then at the end of the month, stop that. Mercury retrograde invisible, be more cautious. And of course, we have Saturn in Aries. Huge, huge event. Here it is. I'm showing you a little bit. You can read, you can stop it, or you can just get the calendar. I'll put the link below for it. Or I also have a course on Saturn in Aries that I made last year. It's 3 hours. How will Saturn in Aries for the next 2 years, for example, Cancers will be squared, Libras will be opposed, Aquarians will be sextiles. So each sign will be affected in some way. And if you have a planet maybe in Capricorn, You have maybe Moon in Capricorn, Saturn square from Aries. What does it mean? I cover absolutely every possible aspect of Saturn transiting through Aries, how it's going to affect you. It's only, again, discounted at half price. Or Neptune in Aries. I've released it. I have 5 hours on that, how it's going to affect you over the next 14 years. Maybe you're Leo, Neptune will trine you. Maybe you have Moon in, uh, I don't know, in Gemini, sextile, Neptune will sextile you, and exactly which year and what you can expect. So very, very amazing content for just $20 if you'd like to own it. But anyway, coming back to this month, Eclipse season begins. Wow, in Aquarius, and the epochal Saturn conjunct Neptune. I made a whole video on that if you want to watch it. So fascinating stuff. Let's cover each of the 12 signs. Or also, I'm starting a course from March. Again, I want new beginnings. The Saturn Neptune conjunction is in my third house of teaching and on progressions. If you want to learn progressions, it will be 3 months. I do a long-term course once every 3 years only. 3 months, 5 hours per week, and we'll map out the future. This course will show you how to read the whole 80, 90 years of your life. And when the biggest events will happen, you don't need to know much astrology, just the basics. What are planets, what are signs. I will teach you from the start. So now let's dive to the biggest developments of Saturn conjunct Neptune and the eclipse. Capricorn Sun Moon Rising, February 2026. Capricorn, you are ending a 36-year cycle. In 1989 and 1990, a new cycle started in Capricorn between Neptune and Saturn. Maybe it gave some, and you've been living under it for years now. And even though it was active there for 1 year, it fell apart after. Its energy continued. So some of you were given more responsibilities, some karmic duties, because both Neptune and Saturn are very karmic. Some of you were born later into the 90s, but you were born under this energy that stayed with us, stayed with you till now. And it's 36-year cycle. And if you're Capricorn rising, for example, might have been some karmic predetermination about the whole path in your life. The need to take on more responsibilities and sacrifice more. Saturn is responsibility, Neptune is sacrifice. The need to kind of a bit, it's the both conjunctions, a bit of suffering as well, but also maybe some of you were given leadership position or positions of extra duties, just like this now goes to Aries, to the Aries people. Or some of you, if it's your sun there, maybe career-wise, there was like some predetermination and karmic sacrifice and responsibility you have to do. If it's your moon, possibly in your private life, that there was more heavier, but also more demanding energies on you there. And now it's ending. It's ending, but it's moving into, it's going to happen. The next Saturn Neptune conjunction, it's happening now in February on the 20th, but its effect is for 36 years and it's going to be in your fourth house. And the fourth house shows that you're starting a brand new chapter in your life. So suddenly the problems that you've had for many, many years, or situations or things that interested you for many years, or circumstances, whether it's a career, whether it's a relationship situation, whether it's a mental state situation, a health problem as well, because the first house could have been also the body, will end. It will stop being an issue. Sometimes it can feel painful if you lose a career and self-identity that you've had for decades or at least many years. Will start ending from 2026 and maybe started already from 2025 because Saturn and Neptune dipped a little bit there, but the true conjunction happens now. And those themes, those either chapters of your life will finish, which for some of you can be a relief from a long-term illness. First house can be the physical body, release from a long-term duty and responsibility. For others might feel more scary, released from a role you used to play. You've always were the mother, you always were the CEO, you always were some certain job or whatever. It ends and a brand new chapter starts. And this brand new chapter is in your fourth house. So the responsibilities and duties and interests and fields of, because Saturn rules you as well, and it's part of this conjunction, and it's getting fructified by Neptune, like getting bees and the flowers by Neptune. And Neptune and you are Saturn, and Neptune is inspiration, new ideal, new vision, but also some karmic duty that you might have, and it's connected to family. So some of you, depending what age you are, might decide, well, I'll settle down. My focus becomes family. And for 3 decades ahead, you prioritize that family, settling down, parenthood. Others might be that they, Saturn Neptune also has very karmic energy, like almost like predetermined, that their place of living changes. And they go to a place that is kind of predetermined from before you were born on Earth. Others might be that they take on new responsibilities connected to fourth house, and that they, like their either career focus or interest focus moves towards real estate, towards homesteading, towards anything to do with home and family, anything to do with land and even agriculture in some way, anything to do with country or the seas. The fourth house is all of those things, or building even, or raising children, or hospitality fields. You might become captain of industry in some, Martha Stewart in some, over the next 30 years. You might be called, maybe some of you know, to develop things for families, build, to sell real estate, or to teach mothers how to breastfeed. All of those family and children raising and home, and anything about the kitchen and the living room, and anything that helps families. Such field. You might be doing the rules and the laws about zoning for the next, decades, about zoning for, I don't know, or giving permits about building at homes. It can play out in very different ways, but the spheres are about this fourth house sphere. And another way some of you might be called to reorient themselves is history. Fourth house rules history. You might start developing interest in that, in your collective history, and contribute towards it, or the past of your family. Or fourth house is psychological house, understanding the roots of problems, where they're stemming from childhood, and digging deep, the wounded child, learning to heal it, learning to see what's not working in the ancestral pattern, family constellations. Maybe some of you might have a calling to become a master, or to contribute to the collective raising of consciousness through some psychological work, through some work with families, through some work of the wounded child, or about understanding feelings, anything to do with needs and feelings, or anything about providing the immediate needs of families, and psychological as well. So, or it can just, some of you can mean the beginning of a new home, the beginning of new developments in your family, new rules, new way of, your circumstances, your living circumstances, your personal life circumstances start changing. And especially the next 2 years will show you, maybe not immediately from February, it's a long process, but the next 2 years will show you how those changes will happen. You might have to take on new responsibilities connected to family or property or parents, take care of a parent, pay off karmically. I mean, like duty towards, sacrifice more towards your family, take more responsibilities, and so on. So yeah, let's see how this plays out. The next 2 years, Saturn will square you, Capricorn. So, like I have friends who are Capricorn rising and Capricorn sun, and because Neptune and Saturn were already for Saturn for 3 months, Neptune for 6 months in Aries, they didn't fully meet. But I have a friend who became a mother into her early 40s, late 30s for the first time. So that's like a brand new role. Until now, for years, she was alone and building businesses. Saturn, Neptune in the first house. She was born into this conjunction almost. And she was like always holding everything on her shoulders, keeping things together, always getting things, the first house is you being independent, building strength. Uh, she made businesses, startups, worked on her body, on to create the life she wanted. First houses, independence, initiative. And now this burden is taken from her shoulder, but she started a new role with the Saturn Neptune conjunction of a mother and homemaker and family. So that's how I seen a very beautiful example in my immediate environment, and I wish the same for you. So that's one big shift there. Now, the other big shift is an eclipse. How often is it to have an eclipse and the most epochal conjunction together in the same month? Eclipse is on the 20th of February, something like that, or 17th, sorry. I think, yes, it's on the 17th at the 20 later degrees, but it's happening in your second house. The last time you had eclipses in Aquarius with the South Node, though it's not exactly the same, but still was 2017, 18, and 2000, even from 16, maybe it started towards the end. And uh, the the time when it was truly with the North Node, the eclipses in Aquarius, because they're like South Node eclipses and North Node eclipses. They have a little bit of a different energy. The North Node eclipses was the last time they happened was 2008, 2009. So think back to it. And I'm not saying the same things will happen, but just some correlation. So a brand new theme starts here. We haven't had eclipses there in Aquarius for a long time, and eclipses are very fated events, and they quickly derail the train and put it on the tracks it's supposed to run on, the train being your life. And sometimes the events are fast, quick, a bit shocking, not like this transit, not like Saturn Neptune. It will unfold for many decades. Slowly, the seeds, gradually learning how to do it, mastering how to, anything to do with the fourth house, home, family, so on. This thing is fast. Eclipses, they have fast influence, more immediate. And it's happening in your second house. It's again connected to, in ancient astrology, it is family related, your support system, and family again is the support system, and finances. So it's, you see very kind of private things that both those changes activate. But you're good as an earth sign, you're good. And second house is money, material situation. So this will start preoccupying you, but there'll be a big shift and change starting from February for of many Capricorn rising or sun or moon people in their financial situation. And because the new moon eclipse is about something new, and with the North Node, which is material to gain something, to get something, the North Node is a dragon that eats and takes and gets. So I think there will be like for some of your opportunity, and there will be another eclipse this year on this axis, and next year there will be four eclipses in Aquarius, Leo. So you have a year and a half for those new themes that start from February to fully unfold, but like a new opportunity for money can appear, new opportunity to change your financial situation, new opportunity for investments out of the blue. Or maybe sometimes it's through a crisis, something happens financially that makes you quickly reorient yourself in the direction and to change tracks, as I said. And there is this here, the North Node eclipse in the second house is about resourcefulness, finding yourself, being more resourceful, finding resources, you creating wealth as well. So you're creating a new source of income or new source of maybe investing some in an opportunistic way. Aquarius is very opportunistic. So is the North Node, which is causing the eclipse. And Venus and Mercury is being born also in the second house of yours, which is rare, very rare to have Venus, the most beautiful planet, becoming visible after 40 days of not being visible because it's too close to the sun. Now it becomes visible in your second house, the birth of Aphrodite, like Botticelli's painting, you've seen it coming from the ocean. So beautiful event, which shows beautiful developments in the second house. And the eclipse there at the same time says, well, there will be very important new beginnings, kind of fated. So they can be the birth of new financial opportunities for some of you, or the birth of new resources that come, or the birth of new sense of self-worth, that you consider yourself more worthy, because second house on the spiritual level is your self-worth. And so this way, when you correct and balance your self-worth to be the right one, when you boost it, you start attracting also things that are more aligned with your self-worth. Maybe like a promotion at your job, higher prices, something, or gains of some sort as well. And second house is also the house of eating. What do we eat? So for some of you, it can be a big shift in the way you eat that will unfold over the next year and a half. Like suddenly your tastes change. You start preferring to eat something else, or you try a different way of eating, and you want to revolutionize eclipses. And it's a fast change. It's Aquarius after all. It's sudden changes. How you eat, and sometimes you might be forced into that, but you'd very quickly and you'd like it. For some of you might be stopping sugar, for others might be doing more natural foods, adding more fruits, more vegetables, for others might be eliminating meat, or for, whatever the need is, you'll be trying something new very likely. If not with this eclipse in Aquarius, then at least in the next one, which is again in February, new moon eclipse next year. So you have like a 2 year window basically to change your self-worth, circumstances about your finances to start changing, and like new opportunities appearing there, and to even changes in your family, as I said, as your support system, in your resourcefulness, and also how you eat. Plus, second house is your smile, and it's your vision as well. There might be some important changes starting to happen with your vision. I mean, hopefully for good, but you never know. But and teeth is the second house. What we put in the mouth, how we eat, and the teeth, the voice. So there might be some changes, surprises there. The birth of some of you. It's great when Venus is being born in your second house to do some teeth work, especially one that is about making beautiful teeth. Like, for example, I chipped my front teeth. You can extend them a little bit. But I'm not Capricorn, so it's not in my second house. But Venus being born, the planet of beauty, in your second house, is either by beautiful objects and something that you've always wanted, like a beautiful ring or shoes, or some valuable, might be piece of art, might be beautiful clothes that Venus being born then Mercury is can bring you something valuable, beautiful, can be beautifying your face. Second house is face, like beautiful face procedures that you start, a beautiful routine about your face, beautifying, or your teeth as well, aesthetic work. And Mercury and Venus being born in the second house is also about like maybe doing some new budgeting or investing in something that will give you long-term returns after that. If there is something that appears that's needed as an investment to put money into, and I think you should do it especially in the first 2 weeks with Mercury and Venus being born there. Or you can do, Mercury is a very good manager, organizer in the second house of finances and practical matters, to organize something, to rebudget, to make some plan, fantastic about it, or maybe some new idea and business project that will increase finances for you as well to begin. It's good. That's the first 2 weeks, very auspicious for that. Or to start, as I said, some beauty, or learning to cook, or learning to make a bread. Second house is cooking as well. Learning to read about such stuff, food and so on. Maybe starting a garden of some sort is again positive for that. But Mercury goes retrograde at the end of the month, the last 7 days, so from the 20th to the 28th, in your third house. here. So third house is communication. There might be some miscommunications, and it's retrograde till the 20th of March. So you have to be a bit more careful that it's not like a broken phone. You say something, people misunderstand you, they didn't heard you, they didn't do like you said, or you misunderstanding them. Or maybe you might need to bring out and discuss some things from the past that need to be addressed, that were buried under the carpet, and then need to come to the surface now to be talked about, or maybe you're reminiscing about the past, talking about the past, reading about, or maybe connecting with friends from the past or relatives, or visiting places from the past from the end of February. Otherwise, it's not ideal the last, you know, from the end of February, the last 7 days, and the first 20 days of March to do new trips to new places, or buying new cars, or buying new phones, or buying new communication devices, unless they're maybe like refurbished ones. Or if you travel, be prepared for surprises, delays, or confusions with, you know, reservations if you're okay, or travel to places you've been to before, because retrograde is to revisit something. Or you might be asked to work on some project that you have to edit, redo. Third house is mental work, written, spoken, communications. Maybe meetings will be delayed, or if you're like, oh, you have an appointment, well, it falls through. Just know that this will be the theme as any Mercury retrograde around the third, no, from the third week, the last week of February and the first 20 days of March. But still, it doesn't mean don't do anything, hide under a rock. Just you have to be more careful because more mistakes happen during that time. Plus, Mercury is making sextile to you. So it's very good of recapping on old skills and taking some project and finish that and finishing it, whether it's written, spoken, correcting something on your work or social media, or taking some old project and uh, fluffing it up, making it nicer, redoing it, bringing it out again, like I'm doing with my Saturn and Neptune courses that I did last year. They each one had like 1,000 people get them. People love it. Saturn is $20, Neptune is $20. What does it mean to have Saturn in Aries? How it's gonna impact you? For example, for you it will square you. In the video I speak exactly what will happen. Or if you have Venus in Aries, or you have Venus in Aquarius, like many Capricorns can have, Saturn will trine you, Neptune will trine you. It's another story than a square. And what it means, I give you stories, examples, what it means, and so on. And if you want to learn astrology with me, and don't forget, by the way, Jupiter is in your seventh house. We'll stay there. Very auspicious time to make partnerships continuously till July. Partnerships, business. So even this Mercury retrograde in the third house is good for business, especially working on some details, fixing some problems there, going back and maybe starting some old campaign, re-examining some contracts. There might be certain delays, yes, from the end of February and first 20 days of March, with travels, with documents, with papers, with working in a team, with some business transactions and communications. But Jupiter is making a trine constantly to Neptune, to Mercury. So whatever corrections you do, they'll be for the better. And it will be best, you know. And that's also like till July, fantastic if you're single to get married, or something good to come to you from your partner or from creating a partnership. So keep this in mind. This is your blessing here. So thank you so much, Capricorn. Join me for a 3 months course on progressions. We learn how to map out the whole life. Maybe, you know, from your 20s to your 40s, most of the planets will be in fire for you. So this is your most active years, or maybe you have them from your 50s to your 70s, planets in fire by progressions. That's when you become most active. While from your 20s to 40s, you have everything in water. Maybe that's when you're more subdued and more private. It's incredible, the best predictive tool, which maps out the psychological influences for you and the external events. When you get married, when you relocate, progressions always show it, the big, big events. Thank you. Join me. It's 30% discount if you'd like to learn with me. And congratulations, Saturn Neptune cycle from Capricorn is ending, but a new direction in life is coming.